Is the 2023 Chevrolet Malibu LT the best bang for the buck in class? We're going to try to answer that question for you today in our video. This model has an exterior color of mineral gray metallic with a jet black interior. Like I said, it is the LT trim level, so not the highest trim level. But what you'll find here is a solid price, a model that's going to get down the road with no problems, a reasonable amount of cargo capacity, and it looks pretty sharp. The overall body lines, well, they look pretty nice. In fact, I'd be willing to go as far as to say they look rather sporty. So a nice look accented by the mineral gray metallic exterior color, but tell me down in the comments what you would like to see if you were going to buy one of these Malibus. Now you have LED daytime running lights, but you can see the projector beam headlights there. Obviously you can change that. A very nice look here, a little bit hard to see obviously with them not on right now, but the daytime running lights right here, and then the blinker housing. But overall, a really nice look from front to back. 245/40 are the tire size, or is the tire size I should say, wrapped around a 19-inch wheel. And you do have power adjustable heated side view mirrors, but they are manually folding. So if you're curious about that, well, that's what you have. Here is what the remote's going to look like. It does have the coveted remote start. I know a lot of you like that, so I want to make sure that I show that. And you have a nice chrome trim around the windows on both sides, and then a little more chrome right here with the passive entry button. So you push that, it's going to lock the interior or unlock the interior depending on what you need to do. An overall nice look on the overall lines of the vehicle, that's for sure. But one of the most common things that people are going to want to know about usability, what about cargo capacity? Well, we have 15.8 cubic feet, and you can maximize cargo capacity by pulling on these levers. There's one on each side right there. You can pull on that, and then you can come back here and lower these rear seats and increase cargo capacity a little bit more by having things that can come through this now pass-through area right here. That definitely makes a difference. And one more thing, I know a lot of you are probably going to ask, does it have a spare tire? Well, the good news is yes. Spare tire, no tire repair kit, that's always a plus. This Malibu is front-wheel drive, and under the hood is the 1.5-liter turbocharged four-cylinder. It makes 160 horsepower and 184 on the torque. It is mated to a CVT, or continuously variable single-speed transmission. And what about MPGs? Let's take a quick look at exactly what we have here. 27 city, 35 highway, 30 combined, and 3.3 gallons of gas per every 100 miles driven. That's not too bad. This model has a 15.8 gallon gas tank, so maybe that will give you a little bit better idea on those numbers. Rear seat passengers will find soft touch materials here for the armrest on the door panels, as well as a large door bin here. Reasonable size for this class of vehicle. A little bit of a bottle holder right there. You can put a drink right there, whatever, and some snacks around, different things like that. Now, you're only going to find one rear seat pocket storage area. There's only one here. Not sure why. Seems like it would be easy to put one on each side, but it is what it is. Do have the dual air conditioning vents here, as well as a 12-volt power outlet. No USB options here in the rear seat area, but let's see here. Let me take my glasses off the top of my head. I am sitting straight up so you can see. At 5'10", I do have a little bit of space above my head, but if you are 5'11" or taller, especially 6 feet or taller, this might be where you want to sit. And if this is where you're sitting, what are you going to find? Well, again, those soft touch materials for the armrest, a little bit more space here within the door bin. So looks like you could put a larger bottle or whatever you're going to put right there to drink. More space for snacks back here. And you do have a 6-way, I believe 8-way adjustable, not 6, but an 8-way adjustable, manually adjustable. Passenger seat is cloth material and jet black. We'll take a look into the gloveless glove box. How did I know there were not going to be any gloves within the glove box? But they're not. If you're wondering, what is that? That is what you use for filling the gas tank. If you happen to run out of gas, which is going to be hard to do with this car because it gets such good gas mileage, you'll stick that down into the capless fuel fill, and that will allow you to actually put gas into the gas tank. And taking a look here as far as the shifter goes, it's a conventional style shifter, so if you don't like push button shifters, good news, you don't have that there. A little bit of space here for whatever storage, whatever you want to store there. And then a couple more cup holders. You're going to have a lot of the body color materials throughout the interior here, as we've seen on the door panels. And then a fairly large center console lid. Put your arm right there, or right there if you're the driver. And then what is within? We're going to find some more storage down there, quite a bit of storage. And if you're wondering about connectivity, yes, there is some connectivity here. USB connectivity, and another one of those 12-volt power outlets right there. And getting down to the main area of attraction, at least for the driver, well, here we go with the driver's side door. To start with, you're going to have one touch down at all four corners on the windows. Not one touch up, but one touch down. Here are your heated power adjustable side view mirror controls, so you can adjust everything. And another nice large door bin right here. Controls for the headlights. You do have a manually adjustable tilt and telescopic steering wheel. And you also have your blinker lever right here. That way, when you're turning right or changing lanes to the right or the same thing to the left, you can let people around you know what you're doing. You can also go through via your steering wheel mounted controls here on this side. You can go through a lot of different information and see what's going on with the vehicle. You can bring your digital speedometer back up there, and several analog gauges here. So if you like analog, well, you've got quite a bit of that going on here. Cruise control right here. And then we'll move over to what really amounts to a very nice look with the air conditioning vents. That angle looks nice, just the size, everything, it's just right. It kind of flows right into the 8-inch diagonal touchscreen that we have here as far as what is available. Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, so you can pair your smartphone. That's always a benefit. And then you have to go into reverse to see the rear view camera, but you do have your trajectory lines there. Not a lot going on, but it is there. And then you can turn those on and off. If you didn't know, by 2020, all vehicles were required to have the backup camera like that. And you can see you've got Wi-Fi, you've got OnStar services. You can go in here into climate if you don't want to do everything via your controls right here for your dual zone climate control. So a couple of different options there depending on the situation or what you want to use. And then you can go into settings right here and make several different changes to the vehicle, turn several things on and off. There are your apps. If you don't want to use Android Auto or Apple CarPlay, you can turn those features off, and then you can go into the vehicle right here. The rear seat reminder is there, and keep in mind, with the rear seat reminder, it doesn't necessarily have to be to remind people that they have kids back there. That shouldn't be necessary, obviously, but you might have an important document, a briefcase, something for a meeting that you need back there. So that does have its advantages in multitudes of ways. You can turn the buckle to drive off or on if you want to. If you don't like that, you can obviously just go in there and turn that right off, and you can see what's here. Collision and detection systems right here, all of that is there so that you know what's going on around you. Hopefully you're observant enough to not need to know that. And then you can see what else is here. There is a lot you can go in and change. You've got teen driver mode, valet mode. All of that is here. Very easy to use, very simple to set up. But really, one thing that's a big advantage here, at the price point of less than $30,000, if you're somebody who's saying to yourself, I need a new vehicle, but I don't want all of that technology, all of those bells and whistles and all that kind of stuff, this is a good vehicle. It has technology, but not too much. A reasonable amount, but not an overload. So, you might wonder also, what is it like to drive this Malibu? 160 horsepower, that can't be enough. Well, let's get out on the road for a test drive and see if we can answer that question. All right, we're gonna get out on the road for our test drive, and I know a big question we need to answer: how does the Malibu run? Well, let's drop the hammer to the floor and find out. Obviously, it's going to, well, sound like a CVT, but I will say this, if you're familiar with the continuously variable transmissions, you can't really tell. I'm actually pretty impressed. Most CVTs, you get that kind of almost droning sound where you know it's a CVT, but this one kind of mimics an automatic transmission, I should say. Not a manual, but an automatic of sorts, and actually behaves very well. The ride quality is good here. That's always a plus, but you really get a pretty surprising, impressive acceleration experience. It's not going to plant you back in the seat. It's not neck-snapping performance, but I think it will surprise a lot of people. You know, there's a lot of different vehicles on the road that make around 150, 160 horsepower. If you have the 2-liter naturally aspirated engine in the Honda Civic, it makes 158 horsepower, and it does just fine. And that's what I see here, or experience here, with this Malibu. So a really nice vehicle. If you're driving around quite a bit, if you're putting a lot of miles on a vehicle and you want to conserve gas or just have something that gets good gas mileage, this is definitely it. It has plenty of interior space, plenty of cargo space. It'd be a great road trip vehicle for somebody in business if they're going on road trips regularly for business purposes. That's perfect. You know, you could take advantage of that back seat reminder if you've got your briefcase back there or whatever and you're late for a meeting and you're having to take advantage of all of that 160 horsepower. Well, then you might jump out when you get to your destination and forget your briefcase, or start to, and then on the dashboard you're going to see that reminder and say, oh, my briefcase is in the back seat or in the trunk or wherever it is. So there's a lot of advantages here. One thing I did not mention earlier, if you live in a cold climate or it stays cool during the winter, well, you do have the advantage of the heated seats here. Now, they're heated only, they're not ventilated, so if you live down here in northwest Louisiana, it might be a little bit of a different situation, but not that big of a deal. But it doesn't have the ventilated seats. And today in December, this is December 5th, I believe, the day I'm filming this video, and the high today is going to be 74 degrees. So that's a little bit of a different situation. Not hot enough to need ventilated seats, but still pretty warm for any place this time of year. But I guess it's better than having it be sub-zero. But overall, a comfortable interior. The seats are comfortable, the ride quality is good, the handling is good. One thing about having a vehicle like this is you know it's going to be great for kind of zipping around town, so to speak, easily maneuverable. You're not going to have any trouble getting in and out of areas where you need to park or getting through traffic. So it has a lot of advantages, and it has a nice tight turning radius, as you can see right there. I'll give you the best look at that I can, and then we'll get on down the road here, and already up to speed with no problem, and I'm at about half throttle. So overall, I must say, this Malibu is actually fairly impressive. Don't let the horsepower numbers deter you if this is something you're looking for. The price is very solid, definitely not as high as some of its competitors. It has plenty of great features and functionality. Obviously, this isn't the highest trim level. The 160 horsepower seems to be enough, at least based on my own personal experience. And it's definitely going to do a good job of getting you from one point to another. So now it's your turn to talk down in the comments section. Does the 2023 Chevrolet Malibu LT offer the best bang for the buck in its class? Tell me what your answer is, and tell me why you answered the way that you did. Gotta say a special thanks to my friends at Red River Chevrolet for loaning me this Malibu for the day, and all of you for being kind enough to take the time to watch and give me the opportunity to give you a vision for your next vehicle. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn about other vehicles you may wish to consider purchasing, check out the video that's on the screen right now, and I'll see you there.